So hi everyone, welcome to my channel Physics Peers. Today let me discuss basic mathematics required for physics. So what is basic mathematics required for physics? The meaning of basic mathematics required for physics is the collection of chapters which play a vital role in order to solve the problems in physics. So there is a collection of chapters which will help you to solve the problems in physics. So I am going to discuss all those chapters which play a vital role in solving the problems of physics. So under basic mathematics required for physics, I am going to talk about calculus. Under calculus, again, I am going to talk about differentiation. So the second one is integration. So the third one is maxima and minima. Of course, I start with differentiation, then I go to maxima and minima, then I go to integration. This is the sequence what I follow during my lecture. So what is differentiation? Let us see today. So before understanding the essence of differentiation, let me give some examples which help you to understand differentiation better. So let me start with a simple example that a student is buying a pen which costs 5 rupees. A student is buying a pen which costs 5 rupees. So the cost of one pen is 5 rupees. So if the same student, if he want to buy or if she want to buy 2 pens, obviously how much the particular student has to spend? Your answer will be 10 rupees. Because the cost of one pen is 5 rupees. When the cost of one pen is 5 rupees, the cost of 2 pens is 10 rupees. So you are clear with this. Cost of 2 pens is 10 rupees. So similarly, I can find cost of 3 pens. This is 15 rupees. So how did you get cost of 2 pens as 10 rupees? How did you get cost of 3 pens as 15 rupees? Actually, what did you do here is, when you would like to find the cost of 2 pens, you did 2 into 5. When you are finding cost of 3 pens, you got 15 rupees. What did you do is like 3 into 5. So what are you doing every time? So here 2 is the number of pens you would like to buy. Here 3 is the number of pens you would like to buy. So each time the number of pens is multiplied with the cost of 1 pen, because the cost of 1 pen is 5 rupees. So the number of pens into cost of 1 pen is giving the cost of 2 pens. Here also cost of 3 pens, the number of pens you are buying into cost of 1 pen. That is how you are getting 15 rupees. In the same way, if I ask you what is cost of x pens, what would be your answer? Obviously you will be telling 5x rupees, sir. How did you get 5x rupees? Sir, what did you do here? The same thing we have followed here. Cost of x pence, cost of 3 pence is 3 into 5, cost of 2 pence is 2 into 5. In the same way, cost of x pence will become x into 5. That is how you got 5x rupees. Right. I hope you all are clear. So now, here let me talk about two things in this particular example. I am finding two things in this particular example. One is cost, the other is number of pens. Right. So 1 pen costs 5 rupees. If you want to buy 2 pens, you have to spend 10 rupees. If you want to buy 3 pens, you have to spend 15 rupees. If you want to buy n pens, you have to spend 5n rupees. So number of pens, cost, these two are not fixed, they are variables. What is variable actually? Variable is something that keeps on changing, like oil price. Oil price is not being constant, isn't it? It keeps on varying. The price of petrol is not constant, it keeps on varying. Okay, it keeps on changing, its value keeps on changing. See, I am clear, it keeps on changing, it may either decrease or increase. Okay, anything we call it change. Okay, I am little fat, I would like to burn my calories, I want to put off my weight, means I want to change my weight. Okay, someone is lean, they want to increase their weight, they want to put on their weight, so they would like to increase their weight. So in both the cases we want to change our weight. Okay, so change indicates either decrease or increase, right? So in this particular case, if we think a student is celebrating a birthday, imagine that a student is celebrating birthday where he wishes to distribute pens to his friends in the class. For example, the strength of the class is 50. 50 students are there. So a student is celebrating birthday. The student belongs to a class which is having 50 students. The strength of the class is 50. So here 50, of course including that boy or girl, it is 50. So whether he may buy 50 pens or 49 pens, that is his or her wish. Okay, if he doesn't need any pen, if she doesn't need any pen, okay, she won't buy. So rest of the 49 students, she or he will be buying pens and she will be distributing on the occasion of birthday. So imagine excluding him 50. So the class strength will be 51. So there are 50 students in the class excluding this boy or girl who is celebrating birthday. So he must buy or she must buy 50 pens so that each student will get 1 pen. So what we do here is, in this particular example, we have considered the cost of 1 pen as 5 rupees. So this boy or the girl who is celebrating birthday must spend 250 rupees. Then only he can get 50 pens. Because the cost of 1 pen is 5 rupees. So 50 pens into 5 rupees. So he has to spend an amount of 250 rupees so that he'll get 50 pens. Right. So why did I give this example? How is it related to differentiation? What is differentiation actually is? Okay, I go in detail. So let me draw a box here which consists of cost and number of pens. So I take cost here, I take number of pens here. Say let me write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, something like this. Of course you can take. So I stopped here, I stopped taking up to 6. So here you'll write 5, here you'll write 10, here you'll write 15, here you'll write 20, 25, 30. Of course you don't have any confusion here because the problem is very clear. Cost of 1 pen is 5 rupees, cost of 2 pens 10 rupees, cost of 3 pens 15 rupees, cost of 4 pens 20 rupees, cost of 5 pens 25 rupees, cost of 6 pens 30 rupees. So as you go down here, what is happening actually? So here the number of pens keeps on changing. Of course, the number of pens is increasing. So what do you say about cost? As number of pens you would like to buy is increasing, the cost also increases accordingly. Okay, so as number of pens increases, cost also increases. So both are variables because cost is changing, number of pens is also changing. So these two are variables. That is clear to everyone. So again in variables, we talk about two kind of variables. One is independent variable, the other is dependent variable. So how do you classify independent variables and dependent variables? See, if you spend 5 rupees, you are getting 1 pen. If you spend 10 rupees, you are getting 2 pens. If you are spending 15 rupees, you are getting 3 pens. If you are spending 20 rupees, you are getting 4 pens. So, like when you go to shop and ask shopkeeper to give 4 or 5 pens, okay, say you are asking him 4 pens. When you are asking 4 pens, how much you have to pay according to this problem? You have to pay 20 rupees. So how the shopkeeper is able to decide that you must pay 20 rupees? Because the cost of 1 pen is 5 rupees, you must buy 4 pens. So 4 into 5, 20 rupees you must pay. So in order to know how much should you pay him, first he should be clear with the number of pens. See, you cannot go and tell him, uncle or aunt, you give some pens. The number has to be specified clearly. Do you want 1 pen or 2 pens or 3 pens or 4 pens or 5 pens? How many pens you want exactly? That has to be very clear. Accordingly, the cost will be decided. For example, if you want to buy 4 pens, 20 rupees you must pay. If you want to buy 5 pens, you must pay 25 rupees. If you want to buy 6 pens, you must pay 30 rupees. So the shopkeeper has to be very clear with the number of pens. Without knowing the number of pens you buy, okay, you don't know how much should you pay him. Okay, he cannot tell how much should be collected from you. The number of pens must be decided first. How many pens you are buying. Okay, accordingly cost will be decided. So what is dependent, what is independent? See, if you would like to buy 3 pens, he is charging you 15 rupees. So he is able to say that you have to pay 15 rupees as you are asking him 3 pens. So first number of pens has to be declared. Okay. So cost is depending on number of pens or not? Cost is clearly depending on number of pens. 1 pen 5 rupees, 2 pens 10 rupees. So if you know the number of pens, then cost will be decided. 1 pen 5 rupees, 2 pens 10 rupees, 3 pens 15 rupees, 4 pens 20 rupees, 5 pens 25 rupees. So first you are knowing the number of pens, then you are deciding the price or cost of number of pens. So here in this particular example, that is cost and number of pens example, what is independent variable, what is dependent variable? We must know. Okay. So here the number of pens will be independent variable. So cost will be dependent variable. Because how many pens you wish to buy, that is in your hands. Do you buy 2 pens or 3 pens or 4 pens or 100 pens? That is in your hands. Accordingly, cost will be decided. So for example, if you want to buy 5 pens, you should spend 25 rupees. If you want to buy 100 pens, you should spend 500 rupees. So first independent. So number of pens is independent variable, cost is dependent variable. So I hope you all are clear with independent and dependent variable. Right. So in this particular example, we are clear that number of pens is independent variable, cost is dependent variable. So let me take 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So here I write 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So let me take the ratio of cost to number of pens in all the cases. So here please be focused on this ratio. I am very clear. Okay, I am finding this ratio in each case, cost by number of pens. So I should write 5 by 1 here, that is 5, because cost by number of pens. Now I should write 10 by 2 here, that is also 5. I should write 15 by 3, here also it is 5. I should write 20 by 4, it is also 5. I should write 25 by 5, this is also 5. So in each and every case, here you please observe, is cost being constant? Cost is changing. Of course the cost is increasing. Are number of pens being constant? Number of pens is increasing. So as number of pens is increasing, cost is also increasing in this particular example. But each time whenever I consider the ratio of cost to number of pens, it is always found to be 5. It is always found to be 5. There is a change in cost, there is a change in number of pens. There is change in number of pens, there is change in cost. But the ratio of cost to number of pens is always being constant. Okay. So from this example, I can declare that cost by number of pens is a constant. Cost by number of pens is a constant. Okay. So from this, cost equal to constant, let me get this number of pens here, constant into number of pens. So I remove this constant, then I can write cost is directly proportional to number of pens. So what this tells actually is, whenever you write two quantities are proportional to each other, as one quantity increases, the other also increases. So as number of pens increases, cost also increases. Okay. So here you must place independent variable. So here you must place dependent variable. So cost is directly proportional to number of pens. So when two quantities are directly proportional to each other, if one quantity increases, in accordance with that quantity, the other quantity also increases. So how this is helping you in understanding differentiation? Okay, let me go in detail. So please wait and see. See, x is directly proportional to y is directly proportional to x. Both are not same. Okay, when I ask this question, to certain students during my lecture. So what is the difference between these two, sir? Both are same. No. See, what you feel is as y increases, x increases, as x increases, y increases. Are they both same? Sir, what is the difference you are finding? Both are same. I'll give you one example. See, success is directly proportional to hard work. Hard work is directly proportional to success. Please take these two examples. You might be clear where the independent variable has to be placed, where the dependent variable has to be placed. Okay. So here in first equation, this will become independent variable, this will become dependent variable. In second equation, this will become independent variable, this will become dependent variable. See, we always talk like this. I work very hard to get success. I work very hard to get success. See, in order to be successful, you must work very hard. So what is in your hands? Hard work is in your hands. The more is the hard work you do, more is the success you get. So hard work is independent variable. Accordingly, you will get success. More is the hard work you do, more is the success. Less is the hard work you do, less is the success. So how much work you do, that is in your hands. How much hard work you do, that is in your hands. So this will be independent variable, this is dependent variable. So this is right. So success, hard work. Okay, how much success you get, that is in your, that is not in your hands. How much, okay, hard work you do. So how work, like how do you work? So how much hard work you do, that is in your hands. Accordingly, you will get success. So this is wrong. More is the hard work you do, more is the success. Less is the hard work you do, less is the success. So as more hard work you do, you will get more success. I hope you all are clear. So this is independent variable, this is dependent variable. So writing independent variable, dependent variable here, writing, sorry, here, this is independent variable, this is dependent variable. Okay, fine. I didn't write wrong. Okay. So in this second example, success is independent variable, hard work is dependent variable. This is not correct. So placing independent variable, dependent variable is also very, very important. So whenever you write proportional relation between two quantities, after proportional relation you should write independent variable, before proportional relation you should write dependent variable. So this is what the correct form is. Okay. So see, you have seen in the example, cost by number of pens comes out to be 5. Always you got it as 5. So cost, say cost be represented with C, number of pens with N. So C by N equal to 5. So which implies C equal to 5N. So I framed an equation between cost and number of pens. Okay, so N represents the number of pens, C represents the cost. So if you keep on changing N, accordingly C will change. So as N increases, C increases. As N decreases, C also decreases. Okay, so we can write C is directly proportional to N. Okay. So you must be knowing about the coordinate axis. In 3-dimensional, we consider x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. So let me take 2-dimensional coordinate system which consists of only x and y-axis. Right? So here, let me keep this aside. C equal to phi n. This is the equation what we found. So you know this is x-axis, this is y-axis. Sir, like we have 4 quadrants, why did you confine to only one particular quadrant, that is quadrant 1? So only I considered q1. So the main purpose of considering q1 is, here in C and N, none of them are negative. Cost of 1 pen 5 rupees, cost of 2 pens, 1 pen, 2 pen, 2 pens, 3 pens. Okay, we never buy minus 2 pens, minus 3 pens, minus 4 pens, right? Okay, so cost also cannot be negative. So as these two are always positive, I am confined to only quadrant 1. So here what I do is, when you are plotting a graph between two variables, the first and foremost thing you have to keep in mind is which variable has to be taken. That must be known first. So here cost, number of pens, two variables are there. So one quantity I will be taking it on x-axis, the other quantity I will be taking it on y-axis. So which quantity is to be taken on x-axis, which quantity is to be taken on y-axis, you must be very clear with that. So by rule, always independent variables must be taken on x-axis, dependent variables must be taken on y-axis. So independent variables should be taken on x-axis. So here this is independent variable, this is dependent variable. So independent variables represent x values, dependent variables represent y values. Then my equation turns into y equal to phi x. Now I am going to draw the graph of y equal to phi x. That is what I am drawing now. Right? So what I do is, y equal to phi x. So x is independent, y is dependent. So let me give values for x. 0, 1. Let me write little bigger. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So y values are, if you keep 0 in place of x, 5 into 0, that is 0. Because when you spend nothing, you get nothing. 1 pen, 5 rupees. 2 pens, 10 rupees. 3 pens, 15 rupees. 4 pens, 20 rupees. 5 pens, 15 rupees. Sorry, 25 rupees. So let me take all this. On x-axis what I take is, so here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On y-axis I take 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. So 0 comma 0, where will it be? So that can be pointed here. When x is 1, y is 5. When x is 1, y is 5, that will be here. When x is 2, y is 10. So 10 is for 2. When x is 3, y is 15. So that is here. When x is 4, y is 20. That will be here. When x is 5, y is 25. That will be here. Okay. So I join all these points, you'll get a straight line. If you join all these points, you'll get a straight line. So if you take in graph paper, exactly you'll be getting a straight line. So you are getting a straight line when two quantities are directly proportional to each other. This is very important point to be remembered. Whenever two quantities are directly proportional to each other, if you plot a graph between them, it will be a straight line passing through the origin. Okay, so y equal to 5x. What is the shape of the graph you got for y equal to 5x? Okay, so this is the shape of the graph. So these are y values, these are x values. This is the shape of the graph. Fine. Okay. Now here you take, actually we considered various points. Okay, we joined them. So we got the locus of all those points is a straight line. So this is 1 comma 5, this is 2 comma 10, this is 3 comma 15, say this is 4 comma 20, this is 5 comma 25. So let me consider change in x. Change in x. What is change in x? See, you can take any 2 points. See, if you take these 2 points, change in x is how much? Change in x is changing from 1 to 2. If you take these 2 points, x is changing from 1 to 3. So the change in x can be taken as 2 here. If you take these 2 points, change in x can be taken as 3. If you take these 2 points, you can take change in x as 4. You can take any pair of points and you can tell the change in x. See, for example, I am taking these 2 points. Okay, change in x. Change in x is 5 minus 1, that is 4. So what is the corresponding change in y? Can you tell me? What is the corresponding change in y? Corresponding change in y means y is changing from 5 to 25. So 5 to 25, so 25 minus 5, this is 20. So change in x, we represent or we denote it with delta x. Change in y, we denote by delta y. So delta y is 20, delta x is 4. So when delta x is 4, then delta y is 20, that you remember. Okay, so you can take any other pair of points. See, I take these 2. So if I take these 2, x is changing from where to where? What is delta x? It is from 2 to 4, so delta x is 2. What is change in y? It is changing from 10 to 20. So delta y will be how much? 10 minus 10 to 20, right? So that is 10. Okay. Again, you can consider another pair of points. Okay. So any pair of points you consider. So here you see the ratio of delta y to delta x. Delta y to delta x. Here delta y to delta x is 20 by 4, that is 5. Even here also, if you find delta y by delta x, that is the ratio of delta y to delta x, that is delta y is 10, delta x is 2, 10 by 2, this is also 5. So what you have to keep in mind is, in this particular example, the ratio of delta y to delta x is always 5, whichever the pair of points you consider. So actually this delta y by delta x, that is the ratio of delta y to delta x, is called slope of this particular straight line. So what do we call? Slope of this particular straight line. So we got a straight line according to the equation of this, according to this equation, y equal to 5x. So for which slope delta y by delta x is found to be 5, that 5 is nothing but this 5, right? So you may take another equation, y equal to 3x. Still, if you draw the graph it will be also a straight line. But here you will get delta y by delta x as 3. This is nothing but this. You may have another equation, okay, y equal to 2x. This is also a straight line for which the ratio of delta y to delta x is 2. So for a straight line, slope is constant. It is very clear. For a straight line, slope is constant. So that is very clear. So for a straight line, y equal to 2x, slope is what? 2. Okay, similarly I can write for a straight line y equal to 4x, slope is 4. Similarly for a straight line y equal to mx, what is slope? Slope is m. So all the lines which are of the form y equal to mx will have a slope m, where any straight line of this form will be a straight line passing through the origin. So please remember the shape of the graph of y equal to mx and what is the slope of the graph y equal to mx. Okay, fine. Here, so we have seen cost, number of pens example. So let me go with another example. I take an example of men work number of days. So when I take the example of men work and number of days, sorry. So see, work, a certain work is allotted. A certain work is allotted to 10 persons. A certain work is allotted to 10 persons. So they are completing it in 20 days. Imagine that a certain work is assigned to 10 persons. They can complete that particular work in 20 days. If the same work is assigned to 20 persons, how many days do they take? See, let me calculate this. 10 persons. 10 persons are taking 20 days. Okay, 20 persons will take how many days? Say let it be x. So this can be calculated by unitary method. Can you calculate? Can we use unitary method? No, because if you do unitary method, so x into 10 equal to 20 into 20. So this will be x into 10 equal to here let me write 10 ones are 10 twos are, so x will be 40. So 40 days they will take. So is it correct 40 days? No, because when more people are involved, the work has to be completed in less number of days. When more people are involved to do the work has to be completed in less number of days. So here, what is the answer? The answer will be 10 days. The answer will be 10 days. Okay, so work is constant. I mean, the assigned work is constant because a particular work is assigned to 10 persons, the same work is assigned to 20 persons. When 10 persons are completing in 20 days, 20 persons will be definitely completing in 10 days. Because when more people are involved, when more number of men are involved, definitely the work will be completed early. So here the number of days men. Okay. So if number of men is increased, if number of men is increased, number of days in which work will be completed will be decreased. Okay. So what is independent? What is dependent? So whether 10 persons are going to do the work, or 20 persons are going to do the work, or 40 persons are going to do the work, is independent. So 10 persons may go to do the work, 20 persons may go to do the same work, 40 persons may go to do the same work. So men, number of men is independent variable. The number of days in which the work is completed will be dependent variable. So here two variables are in such a way that when one variable is increasing, the other variable is decreasing, or when one variable is decreasing, the other variable is increasing. So this particular relation, okay, we call it as inverse proportion. So number of days is inversely proportional to men. We write like this. So what we write is number of days into men is always constant. That is how we calculate, because if 10 days are taken, if 10 days are taken by 20 persons, imagine, so here the product is 200. So if you take, if 20 days are taken by certain number of men, so how many persons will complete the same work in 20 days if someone is asked? So obviously this will be 10 persons. This is also 200 because the product must be same. Now if you involve 40 persons to do the same work, they'll complete only in 5 days because the product must be always 200. Okay, so here what we do, see, men is independent, number of days is dependent variable. So dependent variable should be taken on y-axis, independent variable should be taken on x-axis. So I should write y is directly proportional to 1 by x when two quantities are inversely proportional to each other. When two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, what it tells is if this quantity increases, this will decrease. If this decreases, this will increase. That is the actual meaning is. So y is directly proportional to 1 by x. But what did we see just now? The product of these two is always constant. So I can write yx is always constant. I mean number of days into men. So that is xy is constant. So xy is constant. So let us see how xy equal to constant graph comes. So for this purpose, let me take xy equal to 3. Of course, you can take xy equal to 4, xy equal to 5. Anything you can take, okay. For my convenience, I am taking xy equal to 3. So that I can explain in a better way. So xy equal to 3 when I take, the product of x and y must be always equal to 3. So if I take x1, y must be 3, so that the product will be 3. If I take x2, y must be 3 by 2, so that the product is still 3. If I take 3 as x, y must be 1, so still the product is 3. If I take 4, it will be 3 by 4, so that still the product is 3. If I take 5, this must be 3 by 5, so that still the product is 3. If I take 6, I should take 1 by 2, that is 3 by 6, of course that is 1 by 2, still it is 3. So if I take a table and if I write the x and y values, so I can take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. So y is 3, 2, like this is 2, sorry, so this is 1.5, 1.5, this is 1, 3 by 4 is 0.75, if you calculate, 3 by 5 is 0.6 and 1 by 2 is 0.5. So right, now we are ready with the values of x and y. Then I plot the graph. See, what I do is, here also both are positive, so I am confining to quadrant 1. So here x values, here y values. So x values I consider as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Y values, see here I will take 0.5. Let me take 1 here and 1.5 and 2, still 2.5 and 3. Okay. So here when x is 1, y is 3, so it will be here. When x is 2, y is 1.5. When x is 2, y is 1.5, that is here. When x is 3, y is 1. So when x is 3, y is 1, that will be here. When x is 4, y is 0.75. So 0.75 will be in between 0.5 and 1. So it will be here. When x is 5, y is 0.6. So 0.6 is slightly more than 0.5. When x is 6, y is exactly 1 by 2. So that will be here. So if you join all these points, you will get a curve. You will get a curve. You don't get a straight line. You will get a curve. Okay, so what we call this curve, that will be clearly explained in days to come. So as of now, what you remember is, if two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, the shape of the curve is like this. So don't touch this to y-axis. Okay, so please don't draw something like this. Okay, you cannot touch here. Okay, because it is impossible. Okay, the graph won't touch y-axis because our equation is xy equal to 3. Here what can I write is y equal to 3 by x. So if x is 0, y will be infinity. So when x is 0, y is infinity. So you cannot mark infinity on y-axis. So when x is 0, infinity. So where do you mark that? You cannot mark. You cannot point in the graph. So that is the reason you cannot touch it on y-axis. So when two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, so you will get a curve. When two quantities are directly proportional to each other, you will get a straight line. So here, this is the graph when two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, and this is the graph which represents two quantities are directly proportional to each other. Okay, so I hope you understood very clearly. So please remember these two graphs. Okay, the moment you come to know that two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, you should recall this graph. The moment you should know the two quantities are directly proportional to each other, you should be able to recall this graph. Okay, so when two quantities are directly proportional to each other, so it will be always y equal to some constant into x form. When two quantities are inversely proportional to each other, the equation will be xy equal to some constant form. I have taken 3, it can be any constant. So y is some constant into x. So here you can y equal to some constant into x is directly proportional relation. So y equal to some constant by x, because this can be written as y is equal to constant by x. When y is equal to constant into x, these two are directly proportional to each other. When y equal to constant by x, those two quantities are inversely proportional to each other. Okay, so thank you one and all. So we continue in next video with further concepts.